You could be in big trouble if you do any of these 11 things. Airports are super busy and chaotic, with a million things waiting in line to either stop you from boarding or having a good trip. But then sometimes, you might be the reason why you don't get on that airplane. Yes, you! Airports around the world are tightening their security, and one mistake could leave you banned from flying for life. This is why I have decided to tell you the 11 crazy things that you should never do at the airport. There are a few you should know by now, but some are sneakier than you'd expect, especially the third one because it's something many people do, and it lands them into serious trouble with the authorities. Let's begin. Number 11. Taking photos without permission. First up, snapping photos without permission. Now, I know what you're thinking. Everyone's got a camera in their pocket these days, right? But here's the deal. While it's generally okay to take pictures in public spaces, airports have their own set of rules. In the US, for instance, you can photograph most areas, but be cautious around security checkpoints. The TSA doesn't prohibit photography, but you can't interfere with the screening process or capture sensitive information. And if you're thinking about taking a selfie with that cool airplane in the background, remember that some airlines have strict policies against photographing staff or other passengers without consent. It's not just about rules, it's about respect. No one wants to end up in someone else's vacation album without knowing it. Plus, in some countries, privacy laws are much stricter, and you could find yourself in hot water for snapping away without asking first. So when in doubt, just ask for permission. It's better to be safe than sorry. Number 10. Forgetting to charge devices. Next on the list is forgetting to charge your devices. We've all been there. You're at the airport ready to board and suddenly realize your phone is at 5%. Panic sets in as you frantically search for a charging station. But hold up. Before you plug in, consider this. Public USB ports can be risky. There's something called juice jacking, where hackers tamper with charging stations to steal your data or install malware on your device. Yikes! So what's the solution? Always carry a portable charger or power bank. Just remember, starting March 1st, 2025, some airlines like EVA Air and Thai Airways have banned the use and charging of power banks during flights due to safety concerns. So make sure your devices are fully charged before you board. And hey, if you do find a safe spot to charge, keep an eye on your device. You don't want to be that person who leaves their phone behind in a mad dash to catch a flight. Stay powered up and stay smart. Number 9. Mess with baggage conveyor belts. Next up, let's talk about those baggage conveyor belts. You know, the ones that snake through the airport like a giant mechanical centipede, carrying your precious luggage from check-in to the plane and back again. These conveyor systems are marvels of modern engineering, consisting of hundreds of interconnected belts and junctions that automatically send your bags to their destination. But here's the thing, they're not toys. Messing with them is a big no-no. Why, you ask? Well, for starters, these systems are designed to handle bags, not people. There have been unfortunate incidents, like the one at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, where a woman tragically lost her life after becoming entangled in the machinery. It's a stark reminder that these areas are off-limits for a reason. The conveyor belts have rotating parts and pinch points that can easily drag in or crush anything that gets too close. So it's best to admire them from a safe distance and let them do their job without interference. Moreover, tampering with these systems can lead to serious delays and logistical nightmares. Imagine the chaos if a bag gets stuck or jammed because someone decided to play around with the belts. It can cause a domino effect, leading to bottlenecks and delays throughout the entire baggage handling process. And let's not forget the financial implications. The airline industry already spends billions on lost and damaged bags each year. Adding unnecessary complications only makes things worse. So next time you're tempted to hop on a conveyor belt for a quick ride, remember, it's not worth the risk or the hassle. Number 8. Sleep at the airport. Now let's move on to another common airport faux pas, sleeping at the airport. We've all been there. Long layovers, delayed flights, or just plain exhaustion. The idea of catching some Z's on those uncomfortable chairs might seem appealing, but it's not always the best choice. Airports are busy places, and finding a quiet spot to rest can be challenging. Plus, there's the constant noise of announcements, the hustle and bustle of travelers, and the ever-present fear of missing your flight. But beyond the discomfort, there's also the issue of security. Sleeping in an airport can make you an easy target for theft. With your guard down, opportunistic thieves might see your unattended belongings as an invitation. It's always better to stay alert and keep your valuables close. If you really need to rest, consider booking a room at an airport hotel or using one of those nifty sleep pods that some airports offer. They provide a secure and comfortable environment where you can recharge without worry. Lastly, let's not forget the hygiene factor. Airports are high-traffic areas, and those seats and floors aren't exactly the cleanest places to catch some shut-eye. You're better off staying awake and finding a more suitable place to rest once you reach your destination. So, while the idea of curling up in a corner might be tempting, it's usually best to resist the urge and find a more comfortable and secure option for your nap. Before we continue, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Number 7. Leave electronics behind. Next up, leaving your electronics behind is a big no-no. In today's tech-driven world, our gadgets are practically extensions of ourselves. Whether it's your smartphone, tablet, or laptop, these devices are essential for staying connected, entertained, and informed while traveling. Imagine being stuck on a long layover without your phone to scroll through social media or catch up on your favorite shows. Not fun, right? Plus, many airlines now offer in-flight Wi-Fi, so having your devices handy means you can work or play while cruising at 30,000 feet. And let's not forget about those handy travel apps that help with everything from booking last-minute accommodations to navigating unfamiliar airports. So, double-check your packing list and make sure all your electronics are safely tucked away in your carry-on. Now, let's talk about security. When you're going through airport security, you'll need to take out your electronics for screening. This might seem like a hassle, but it's all about efficiency and safety. By removing your devices from your bag, security personnel can quickly assess them without having to dig through your belongings. This speeds up the process for everyone and helps keep the lines moving. Plus, it reduces the risk of damage to your devices since they won't be jostled around as much. So, when you're packing, make sure your electronics are easily accessible. That way, you can breeze through security and get on with your journey. Lastly, there's the issue of swabbing electronics at the airport. You might have noticed security personnel swabbing devices with a small cloth. This isn't just for show, it's a crucial part of ensuring everyone's safety. The swab checks for trace amounts of explosives, which could indicate that a device has been in contact with restricted substances. While it might feel a bit invasive, remember that these measures are in place to protect all travelers. So don't leave your electronics behind and be prepared for a quick swab if necessary. It's a small price to pay for peace of mind and a safe journey. Number 6, try to outsmart TSA. Next on the list, trying to outsmart the TSA is a game you definitely don't want to play. The Transportation Security Administration, TSA, has seen it all, and their primary goal is to ensure the safety of all passengers, so if you're thinking about sneaking something past them, think again. For starters, the TSA has strict rules about what you can and cannot bring on a plane. This includes the well-known 311 rule for liquids, which limits you to a quart-sized bag of liquids, aerosols, gels, creams, and pastes in containers of 3.4 ounces or less. Trying to bypass these rules by hiding items in your luggage is not only risky, but also likely to result in delays and potential fines. So, play it safe and stick to the guidelines. Another thing to consider is the advanced technology used by the TSA. Over the years, they've implemented new screening methods to enhance security and efficiency. For example, many airports now use computed tomography, CT units, which provide a 3D image of your bags. This technology allows security officers to see inside your luggage without having to open it, making it much harder to sneak prohibited items through. Additionally, some airports have introduced facial recognition technology to verify passengers' identities. While participation is voluntary, opting out means you'll have to go through manual identity verification, which can slow you down. So trying to outsmart the TSA with clever tricks is more trouble than it's worth. Finally, if you're looking to skip the long security lines, there are legitimate ways to do so. Programs like TSA PreCheck and Clear offer expedited screening for low-risk travelers. With TSA PreCheck, you don't have to remove your shoes, belts, or light jackets, and you can keep your laptop and liquids in your bag. Clear uses biometric data to verify your identity, allowing you to bypass the regular ID check line. While these services come with a fee, Many credit cards offer statement credits to offset the cost. So, instead of trying to outsmart the TSA, consider enrolling in one of these programs for a smoother airport experience. Number 5. Drink excessively. Next up, drinking excessively at the airport is a big no-no. You might think that having a few drinks before your flight is a great way to relax, but it can lead to some serious consequences. If you get too drunk, you could be denied boarding, which means you'll miss your flight entirely. Imagine being all set for your vacation or business trip, only to be told you can't get on the plane because you've had one too many. It's not just about missing your flight, though. Being publicly intoxicated at an airport can also result in legal trouble. You could face fines or even arrest if your behavior crosses the line into disorderly conduct. Airports have strict rules, and security personnel are always on the lookout for anyone causing a disturbance. So it's best to keep your alcohol consumption in check and enjoy your journey without any hiccups. Now let's talk about the effects of alcohol on your body when you're flying. Drinking on a plane can worsen low blood oxygen levels and increase your heart rate, which can be particularly dangerous for those with underlying heart conditions. The cabin pressure and altitude already affect your body, and adding alcohol into the mix can amplify these effects. This isn't just about feeling a bit woozy, it can have serious health implications. Plus, alcohol impairs your alertness, reaction time, and decision-making abilities. In an environment where you need to be aware of safety instructions and potential emergencies, being under the influence is not ideal. So, while it might be tempting to indulge in a few drinks during your flight, it's important to consider the potential risks and prioritize your well-being. Number 4. Taking sedatives. Moving on to another important point: taking sedatives before or during your flight. Many people experience anxiety when flying, and it might seem like a good idea to take a sedative to calm your nerves. However, this can be quite risky. Sedatives can cause you to fall into an unnaturally deep sleep, which increases the risk of developing blood clots, known as deep vein thrombosis, DVT. These clots can form in your legs or lungs and are extremely dangerous, potentially even fatal. Additionally, sedatives can impair your ability to respond to emergencies. In the event of an unexpected situation, you need to be alert and able to follow instructions quickly. Taking sedatives can hinder your response time and put both you and others at risk. It's crucial to weigh the potential dangers against the temporary relief from anxiety and consider alternative methods to manage your fear of flying. Number 3. Ask pilots for directions. Next off, let's talk about asking pilots for directions. Now, I know it might seem like a good idea. After all, they fly planes, so they must know their way around, right? But here's the thing. Pilots are usually on a tight schedule. They're either rushing to get to their next flight or trying to catch a break between flights. Plus, airports are massive, and pilots don't spend much time wandering around the terminals. They're more familiar with the cockpit than the concourse. So if you're lost, it's better to ask airport staff or look for those handy information kiosks scattered around. They're there for a reason, and they won't mind pointing you in the right direction. And hey, if you really want to chat with a pilot, maybe wait until you're on the plane and they're not busy preparing for takeoff. Now let's get into why this is such a big deal. Airports are like little cities, and each one has its own layout and quirks. Pilots, while experts in the sky, aren't necessarily experts on the ground. They have a lot on their minds, from flight plans to safety checks, and the last thing they need is to be sidetracked by questions about where the nearest coffee shop is. Plus, with the increased security measures in place, pilots have specific areas they need to be in, and wandering around the terminal isn't one of them. So give them a break and let them focus on getting you safely to your destination. And here's a fun fact. Did you know that some airports are so big they have their own postal codes? That's right. Take Denver International Airport, for example. It's so large that it could fit the entire city of San Francisco within its boundaries. So, next time you're tempted to ask a pilot for directions, remember that even they might get lost in these sprawling complexes. Stick to the professionals who are there to help you navigate the maze of gates, shops, and eateries. You'll save yourself time and maybe even make a new friend along the way. Number 2. Overdue perfume. Now, let's talk about perfume. We all want to smell nice, especially when we're crammed into a metal tube with hundreds of other people. But there's a fine line between smelling pleasant and overwhelming everyone around you. In 2025, airports and airlines are becoming increasingly aware of passengers' sensitivities and allergies. Some people can have severe reactions to strong scents, and the recycled air in airplanes only amplifies the problem. So while you might love your signature scent, it's best to go easy on the spritzing before you head to the airport. Here's the lowdown. Perfume is considered a liquid, and airport security has strict rules about liquids in carry-on luggage. Each container must be 100 milliliters or less, and all liquids must fit into a quart-sized, clear, sealable bag. This means you can't bring your entire fragrance collection with you, and that's probably for the best. Not only will it save you space in your bag, but it'll also prevent any accidental spills or leaks. Plus, you'll be doing your fellow travelers a favor by keeping the air around you breathable and pleasant. And let's not forget about the etiquette of wearing perfume on a plane. The cabin environment is already challenging enough with limited space and fluctuating temperatures. Adding a cloud of strong fragrance can make it uncomfortable for everyone, including the flight crew. In fact, some airlines are considering banning perfumes altogether for their flight crews to ensure a neutral and allergy-friendly environment. So next time you're getting ready for a flight, remember that a little goes a long way. Your fellow passengers and their noses will thank you. Number 1, show up late. Now, I know there's this trendy idea floating around about arriving just 15 to 20 minutes before boarding, but let's be real here. In 2025, with all the new regulations, that's a recipe for disaster. Starting May 7th, 2025, if you're flying domestically in the US, you need a real ID-compliant driver's license or identification card. Imagine cutting it close and then realizing your ID isn't compliant. That's a one-way ticket to missing your flight. And let's not forget the security lines. Even if you're a seasoned traveler, those lines can be unpredictable. Arriving late means you're gambling with your time, and unless you're a high roller, it's not worth the risk. Plus, if you miss your flight, you'll have to deal with rebooking hassles and possibly no-show cancellation policies. So, do yourself a favor and give yourself plenty of time. Now, let's talk about the perks of arriving on time. Sure, there's a thrill in living on the edge, but when it comes to air travel, it's better to play it safe. Arriving early gives you the chance to relax, grab a coffee, and maybe even snag a good seat at the gate. Plus, if you're someone who gets anxious about flying, having extra time can help ease those nerves. You can double-check your documents, make sure your bags are within the weight limit, and even take a leisurely stroll through duty-free. And hey, if you're really lucky, you might even get an upgrade if the flight is overbooked. But remember, that's more likely to happen if you're already checked in and ready to go, not if you're sprinting through the terminal. Lastly, let's not forget the social aspect. Airports are bustling hubs of activity, and arriving early gives you the chance to people watch and soak in the atmosphere. You never know who you might meet or what interesting conversations you might overhear. Plus, being on time shows respect for the airline staff and your fellow passengers. No one wants to be the person holding up the plane because they couldn't be bothered to set an alarm. So, in 2025, make punctuality your best friend and enjoy a stress-free start to your journey. If you enjoyed this video, let us know in the comment section down below, and turn on your notifications to know when next we upload. See you in our next video. Bye.